So in last session we saw that how the we create the IT assessment request, so that once we create the request for the IT assessment, it means that request created for the respective department IT head. Okay, so here you can see the request assigned means multiple requests created in our list IT assessment list. So it's for SAP, ERP or ERP content management planning, means whatever the department IT department has been selected. Okay, so now the thing is that we are at this stage, we have created the IT department. Now request in the IT assessment and email notifications sent to the respective IT head. Now the next thing is that what we are going to do. So now after that, this IT department head will fill these 5 days, 10 days and with a tentative date. Okay, with a tentative date. So after filling these details, okay, so after filling these details, what logic we need to apply, as we discussed earlier the logic. So here I'll show you. Consider these are the details, those are filled. The request ID, work ID is Mahi 777. Okay, so initially what we do, we will get the atoms. Okay, get the atom with a work ID. Okay, so as we have the work ID, means when we update, see, whenever user, means what we do here, we'll write the uh, flow on atom modify. Okay, our flow will trigger, we'll write the new flow in that on atom modify. When, for which list? Our assessment list. In that what happened, we know that there are different atoms has been created, and it created, and there is it having their respective IT heads are there. Okay, so here what we are doing, see, here tentative date is there, then efforts are there. Okay, and here uh, IT status is there, and also there are other columns are there. But what logic we need to write? So our approach is that if all these three details, means see, IT head will fill this detail, tentative date and efforts, and then he mark it as submitted. If he will fill these efforts and these, but he will not mark it as submitted, there is a drop down, in that he needs to select submitted. Okay, once he will submit, then what happen, then flow will get trigger. Once he will fill these details and mark it as submit, then flow will trigger. Same way this. Okay, so see what I'm saying, our flow will trigger on atom modify. On atom modify, on which list? Our assessment list. Our list name is assessment. Okay, assessment list. Okay, so our flow trigger on the assessment list. Okay, so our list name is assessment. Once, consider this is one IT manager and this request for one particular department. Here department column is not there. He fill this details. Okay, and he says submitted. His flow will trigger. Okay, once flow will trigger. Okay, so request goes here, then what I'll say, get the atom. Okay, get the atom. What atoms? What atom with a equal to, say, I'll say here, sorry. So what happened, so here once on atom modify, request will come here on assessment list. So what happened, first stage is here is, or atom modify request started, then what we say, get atoms. Okay, equal to, our ID is Mahi and I'll say 7. Okay, so at this stage I'll fetch all the items with a ID is Mahi, but my expectation is, so why I call this all these items, so what will the output, then 3 items will retrieve. How many items will retrieve? Then 3 items are retrieved. Then here you can see this is marked as submitted, but this one is not marked as submitted. Okay, and this one is marked. Then how many items it retrieve here, the at this, with this condition it retrieve how many items, 3. Okay, so it retrieve how many items, 3. And after that what I'm doing, I will write one more condition. I'll write one more condition in this get atoms, sorry, I need to say atoms equal to, and here what logic I will say, Mahi 7 and logic is submitted. Okay, sorry, submitted. Okay, so here logic, this logic and logic is used here. Okay, Mahi and logic. Here how many atoms it will retrieve? It will retrieve 2 atoms. Okay, means see here I have used this condition, means action in a flow, get atom, get atom. So both the times I use here, I retrieve all the atoms, and second case I say submitted. When flow will trigger once the atom modified on when or on atom modify. Okay, so here you understand that here now what we do, we will match the both. If these 3 and these 2, if these 3 and 2 are means different, means they are not matching, both are not equal, means we need to do, we are not going to do any action, because still there is one assessment still pending, whatever the department head for which this assessment is pending. So that particular department was not taken any action on this assessment. Okay, so once he will, so consider this one is completed, this guy completed, this guy completed, but this still pending. Your flow will come here, check that 3 count and 2 count, no action. If all these assessments are completed, this one is completed, this one is completed, and this one is completed, then what happen, both are will get output 3 and 3. So what is the then what is the action? If both are equal, then what action we are going to do? So what do? We are going to take further action now. Now we need to go ahead. Then what is our next task? Now it's a bit of critical logic here, not critical, but we need to define that logic. We need to calculate which one is the greater date, okay, or big date. Okay, so consider here 27 March is the higher date and efforts, and here sum of the efforts. So you can see here higher date is the 27 March and sum of efforts will be the 23. So these things we need to extract from this output, and then we need to put these details in our which list, our list, another list name is work details. Okay, so what we do, we'll pass these details to the work detail list. Okay, so means in work detail, design implementation date column is there and total efforts column is there. These two details we pass in a work details, but when it will happen, we need to perform this calculation here. Okay, so here what we need to start calculate, okay, date and what is the sum effort days. Okay, so how we will do the sum of the effort days at this stage? So here while writing the logic, you need to how you can write the logic. So first thing, again you have retrieve all the items, you know that all are submitted, so submission condition not required here because both are same, means all are submitted. Then you go in the next stage. So here what you do, so sum means what I need to do, I need to define some temporary variables. Okay, in that temporary variable, what I do, I will first say, I'll say here what we do, we'll create some temporary variable here, and what name will give him, efforts. Okay, total efforts days. Okay, total efforts days, and we'll keep counting those days. So here you know that we have retrieved those items. So whatever the action items are there, what we do, we create one variable here, we create the variable. Okay, so I give the variable name, say total effort. Okay, and this is an integer variable I'll create here, and what we do, we will keep, so you know the increment action, what I do, increment. Okay, sorry, so here I put the increment. Okay, increment means how I will increment, I'll check 7. Okay, then 7 increment by 5 increment by 11, so total count will be 23. which will be saved in a total efforts. Okay, after that, next thing is tentative date. Again we will create the demo variable. Okay, date variable. What is the I just initialize one date variable and will give the name to that variable as mm, consider our, just a moment. So I will just give the compare date variable. I create one variable with the name variable compare date. Okay, so I'll create the compare date. So while comparing date, I put the create that date. While creating the date, we set one date value to that particular date. And what we do, we need to define, check the condition if if tentative date is greater than compare date. Okay, so if tentative date is greater than compare date, okay, so initially the date compare date will be the, while initializing the compare date, what we do, we'll initially set it as today. Okay, today's date, and you know that this date will be the future date. It's definitely the person with assessment, doing the assessment, it will put the future date. So you know that today's date means what we do, we'll compare the today's date. Yes, it's a greater. So initially in a total sorry, compare date, in another variable, consider compare date, same variable we are updating. So in first round compare date will be the, today's date will updated with the 30. In next round again it will check compare that compare date and this tentative date, which one is the greater, still 13 is greater. Again next stage, again it will go, again it check compare date and 13. What it will do, compared it, and now it's checking that 13. So which one is the greater here? So 27, which is the greater rate. Okay, so what we do, it keep looping and it find out the greater, highest or big date from out of these three. So if it will compare here, okay, first, then it will compare here. Okay, or if this one is greater, still if this one is greater than then this value will pick. Okay, and again we will compare with this, and if again this will get, then we'll put this as a compare date, and then final compare date and total efforts will be added in a work detail. So like this way we define our logic to calculate the efforts and tentative date. Once those details are put in a work detail, then email notification goes to the who, the operational manager. Okay, so email notification goes to the operational manager. So like this way we will define and we'll start working our next logic. Okay, so we'll implement it. Okay, we'll stop here and we'll start implementing it in next video. Thank you.